Welcome to the first episode of Strike and Strategy Post-Fight Talk. I won't be breaking down any footage in these episodes. I'm just going to be talking about fights from the most recent events. In this episode, I'll be talking about Rose Namajunas versus Amanda Ribas from this weekend's UFC event. Although I'll just be going by their first names, as I probably butchered the pronunciation of both their last names there. In the first round, Rose got her left straight going from the southpaw stance. She'd stand in orthodox, then drift to her left, and as she did, she'd switch into southpaw and double and triple the left straight to the head and body. This landed consistently throughout the round. She landed a particularly good one around the 2-minute mark. After throwing any strikes, Rose also did well to step off to one side, not being there for Amanda to retaliate. Amanda meanwhile relied more on single shots, overhands, some low kicks, and the occasional spinning back kick. While she did land some decent shots here and there, it's difficult to land consistently against someone who moves as well and as often as Rose does if you don't feint beforehand or throw combinations. Amanda went for a head and arm throw at the end of the round. These are pretty common in women's MMA, and it's also pretty common to see the fighter going for the throw being the one who ends up in the worst position, which is exactly what happened here. I guess you could say it's the female equivalent of Dustin Poirier jumping to Gilly. Anyways, Rose closed out the rest of the round from the top in half guard. In the second round, Rose started landing straights from the orthodox stance this time. She landed a really nice one as Amanda threw a jab from southpaw. Rose slipped to the outside of the jab and landed clean down the middle. Amanda threw more combinations to start the round. She threw a nice straight left into a lead low kick, but as the round went on, she went back to throwing mostly single shots. Rose started finding her left jab well in this round. Amanda again goes for the head and arm throw in the last minute. Again, she ends up on her back, with Rose in her guard, controlling until the end of the round. I don't know if this was lost in translation somewhat, but Amanda's coach gave her some interesting instructions at the end of the round, telling Amanda to say to herself, "I'm going to knock her out," as if that's magically going to make her a predominantly grappling-based fighter with only 3 finishes from strikes on her record. Do just that. But it all made sense when I heard Brendan Fitzgerald say towards the end of the fight that her father was a lead coach. There are exceptions to the rule, of course, but family members and spouses are well known to get too emotionally charged in the corner. Pat Barry has definitely had some interesting words of advice for Rose over the years. Oh, and by the way, did I miss something? Have Trevor Whitman and Rose split, or was he just not here for this one? Rose timed a great straight right hand over the top of a body kick in the third, and landed a really nice body kick of her own. But Amanda, for her part, was landing more consistently in this round than she did in the previous 2. Fair play to her, she finally got the better of that head and arm throw, landing some really good elbows from the top, and ending the round with back control. This was definitely the best round of the fight for her. Not much happened in the fourth. Even though she's cutting less weight now that she's at 125, Rose looked tired. I think that's why she went for the takedown and was content with top control in Amanda's guard. Amanda's dad comes in with the great advice again at the end of the fourth, telling her you're here to be a legend and that he wants the knockout. Rose was happy to stick and move for most of the final round, likely feeling she was ahead. Amanda was really gunning for the spinning back kicks and wheel kicks, but was unable to hit the target. A good win for Rose. She did look a little uncomfortable at times, especially in the last 2 rounds when she seemed to tire. You'd think having moved up in weight her cardio would be better, but it's also likely that grappling exchanges with women upper weight class are more tiring than at 115. But she really sealed the win in this with her sharp straights from both stances and her top control in rounds 1, 2, and 4. If you've stuck around to this point, thank you for listening. I really appreciate it. I'm new to creating content like this and my other videos, so feel free to leave any feedback as I'm looking to improve on what I've made so far. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments or email me at strikestratyt@gmail.com, and I'll look to answer them in future episodes of Post Fight Talk. Thank you for listening.